What is up, y'all? It's your girl, Brand New, and honey, I am back in the building. This time, honey, I'm back with a Love and Marriage Huntsville Extra. This time, honey, we got Mr. Carlos King. We all know him as the creator of Love and Marriage Huntsville, and he used to produce Real Housewives of Atlanta and a lot of other good television shows, okay? So, you guys, I'm going to play the audio, and then Miss Robinson, honey, will be in and out with her commentary.
The man himself, like I said, the genius behind this juicy storyline that keeps getting bigger and better and bigger and better. Please help me welcome the man himself, Carlos King, to Reality Check.
Hi.
Hey, Carlos. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. How are you?
We are great. Like I said, this show started small. It started being like water cooler conversation. It's like, wait a minute, this is interesting. And it keeps getting better and juicier and bigger every season. Oh my God. First of all, congratulations on that.
Thank you. But you're so right in that regard. It started off as like the little engine that could, and then it blew up, girl. And now it's on fire.
Did you know? Because I remember when I was sent like the initial trailer and things, and people were thinking, okay, we think of Atlanta. We know we have, lifestyles of the Black elite in Atlanta and places even like LA. Obviously, there's franchises in DC of the Real Housewives, so we see those lifestyles. But thinking of the Black elite in Alabama just felt a little different. So did you know that this show was going to do what it did back then? Because I know a lot of people were like, what are we going to talk about in Alabama?
Yeah, no, to answer your question, yes. I knew the moment I met the other couples that I was onto something really special with this cast because they were so unique and so different that I was like, okay, they look great. They have these big personalities, although they live in a small city. But I knew that the audience would take a liking to it. So I knew instantly. And the other thing I knew people would be attracted to is Huntsville. If this show was called Love and Marriage Atlanta, I think people would have been like, oh, all right, we've seen Atlanta. I feel like Atlanta's oversaturated when it comes to reality shows. But I think Huntsville, similar to Potomac, right? When you heard Potomac, like, first of all, what's Potomac, child?
What is Potomac?
Child, he is so right when it comes to that, honey, because I never heard of Huntsville, okay? I got family in Grove Hill, Whiteley, okay? But, yeah, Huntsville.
It sparked your curiosity. So I think Huntsville sparked the curiosity for the masses. And then once you got into the show, you're like, oh, wait a second, baby. Y'all talking about some real-life stuff here that Black couples can relate to.
Absolutely. Well, you mentioned the big personalities, and I think that's one of the things that has stood out. Every season we've talked to the ladies, and I mean, you've got some beautiful couples that I think people can really, really, really relate to. Staple couples that we got to know over the years, of course, Melody Martell, Tisha and Marceau, and Kimmy and Maurice. I mean, people, if you're not Melody, you got a girlfriend that probably you could, kind of see Melody in. Same thing with Letitia and Kimmy. How did that, was that chemistry already there? Because it feels very authentic, because obviously there's family ties and all that, but it feels very much like girlfriends that get on each other's nerves, but there's true love. There's a real relationship there. Was that also a part of what made you so excited about working with them?
Oh, for sure, because when you look at other reality shows, a lot of them meet on the show, right? A lot of those women aren't friends for years. The beauty of the Love and Marriage Huntsville cast is the fact that they were friends for 6-7 years before we started filming. Yeah. So you're right, Crystal. There's a richness of history there. There's a legacy of love. And for us, that was the icing on the developing and creating the show. I wanted to make sure to showcase real couples who are really friends and who would really be hanging out if there weren't any cameras around. And I remember meeting Martell and Melody years prior to us developing this show, and I said, let me meet your friends. And these were the friends they brought to us, and I was like, there we go. We have a show.
Yeah, you definitely have a show. Melody and Martell remain probably the biggest, the most talked about. I mean, this has been, from the time we met them and we thought, okay, there's trouble in paradise, to a huge breakdown, now divorced, a whole side baby. Like, we have watched this thing go from sugar to right. I always wanted to ask you, did you have any idea? Because as a viewer, you're thinking, okay, surely the title is Love and Marriage Huntsville. The show is popular based on these marriages, and this marriage is in public breakdown in a very sad way. You know, we see, when I watch this, I see a man that has made some huge mistakes and really wants his family back. Maybe that'll happen. Maybe it won't. But
girl, you need to quit. You are a black woman. Melody is a black woman. We should not be encouraging our young black sisters to stay within a toxic marriage. Martell does not want Melody back. Not for the right reasons. He wants her back so he can keep cheating on her, disrespecting her. He wants to bring down her self-esteem. A lot of our black men, that is like their claim to fame. That is what they have in store for us. Men like Martell, narcissistic men like Martell. And it really makes me sick to my stomach when I see people like Cristal or even Carlos King. I don't know if he's going to say it on this interview, but there's this other interview that's floating around where he's just like, yeah, you know, I would love to see Melody and Martell get back together. Why? Why the hell should she get back with somebody that did nothing but cheat on her and try to destroy her self-esteem? Why? Y'all need to quit with this fairy tale, we go live happily ever after bullcrap. Okay? Y'all need to quit with that. Yes, they look good together. They was a power couple. I'm not gonna lie. Melody and Martell, they are the reason why I started watching the show. I felt like out of all the couples, they fit together the most. They seem to have the most in common. They seem to be the most ambitious. But now I just kind of feel that way about Melody. I really see Martell for everything he is. He's controlling, he's narcissistic, he's emotionally abusive, trying to get his wife to get used to him cheating. And like, if she was out here cheating on him, it would be like this big deal, right? We know he would be making, and even now, he has a lot of nerve to try to accuse her of cheating. Well, see, you stepped out too. Her stepping out was after she separated from you. You were stepping out within the marriage. So when you have a narcissist that is constantly gaslighting you and making you question your reality, it's just ridiculous. So he knows the difference between the two of them stepping out. Okay, and he on the reunion, oh, well, she told me she gave another man fellatio. Girl, suck all the dicks you want. Make these men eat your pussy till you come. Yes, you heard right, on the brand new 715 channel, honey. Get it until you can't get it no more. Okay? That's what you gotta do. See, you did it though, Melody, you know, after you was out of your marriage. But a bitch like Miss Robinson, I would have been getting it while I was married. Okay, he out here cheating and acting a fool and disrupting our marriage. I'm gonna do the same and leave his ass. That's how I would have played that shit. He was absolutely out of order. And that's how a narcissist is. They will take one little thing you did and try to pin you to the cross for it and crucify you. You know, oh, you're just such a horrible person. Meanwhile, let's ignore, right, all the millions of things that I have did. Let's ignore that. But I'm going to get you on this one little thing. And now you got people on Facebook, because I seen the comments. Melody's such a bad person. She ain't no good. She cheated too. If you heard her correctly, she dumped his ass, her husband, and went on about her business, got her apartment. When she leave him alone, she got every right to do what she want to do. Okay? Y'all ain't gonna flip this shit around on Melody. And people love doing that. You got men doing that to women. You got other stupid, low vibrational women that suffer from misogyny them damn selves. They will try to hold another woman accountable, okay, for what their man is doing. Oh, he cheating. You still supposed to be faithful. You ain't supposed to step out. You was still married. Fuck that. That's y'all problem. That's why y'all out here getting your heart all broken up, because you don't play chess with that nigga. He make one move, you make one move. He do this, that's how you got to do that. And stop giving to some nigga that ain't giving to you. Okay, why you think you the one crying the most when the shit is over? Because he didn't care. He stopped caring a long time ago. Okay? So y'all watch out for that. Don't get sucked into that trap. You don't owe nobody no loyalty that's not being loyal to you.
At all uncomfortable with the trajectory that the marriage took, because a child outside, I mean, it just, more headlines than you probably could have imagined when you first talked to the two of them, because they look like the perfect couple. What has been your feeling on how the marriage has now ended, and we see a couple just still in a very hurtful place trying to figure things out as co-parents?
Yeah, no. So when I first met with them, like you said, I thought they were the perfect couple. I saw no signs of infidelity or even just trouble in their marriage. They presented themselves as a united front. And listen, that more than likely was the case when I first met with them, because I met with them years prior to us doing the show. So I think at the time of me meeting them, there wasn't any infidelity at that time. Mm-hmm. The infidelity started prior to the show, I think a year prior to us filming. And we were just following what was happening, and it just became bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point where, like you said, a child outside of the marriage occurred. So what we do is we document what's really happening. But to say, I'll speak for myself, to say I was surprised is an understatement. Yeah. I really thought these two were going to make it work. What's interesting is the audience were rooting for them. You know what I mean? Like, when you watch certain reality shows, a lot of people are like, girl, divorce them, get rid of them, girl. Like, what was interesting with Melody and Martell is a lot of people wanted them to work things out. I think people fell in love with them as a couple.
I never wanted them to work things out. I wanted her to get rid of him, all that taking him back and having a baby with him. I just felt like all of that was a bad idea. I knew he was going to keep cheating after she had that last baby, because she was sending the wrong message, right? You don't never want to be getting pregnant by no man, ladies, that's out here cheating on you. I don't want to hear this shit about, oh, he was her husband. I don't give a fuck if he was the nigga down the street. Look at the behavior, okay? Look at the behavior. And you got to let some time go by, maybe like 2 years of, you got to see if his behavior is matching his intentions. Is it matching his words? Okay. But, they done went on and had that last little baby, and, she's adorable. I'm sure Melody, don't regret the choice that she made, but all of that, trying to put up this united front, I was not feeling Melody when she was doing that. I wanted her to love herself and love them kids and get away from this man that's trying to tear you down. Because I knew what he was trying to do. And he kept trying to have her in some type of competition with a bitch whose name shouldn't even be mentioned in the same sentence as Melody. But that is what they do when they first floor niggas. That is what they do. They cheat with these first floor basement ass bitches that ain't cute, that a lot of times don't have the education that you have. These bitches don't have the vocabulary and decorum that you have either. Okay? They can't match you at all.
Because they are so alike, not just in the clothes they wear together, but they coordinate. But I even said this to them. I said, in my opinion, you two are each other's soulmates, because I think you two were made for each other in a sense, because the stuff you two like to do, only you two understand. And
well, Melody doesn't like to cheat on her husband the way her husband Carlos likes to cheat on her. Okay, so don't get up here telling that lie. I see what he talking about, you guys, but they are not well matched to me. Martell has a lot of growing up to do. And before I continue to let it play out, guys, I am very sick of society saying, men, they're just not as mature as women. And, it's kind of like that gives a man a pass to disrespect his woman, right? It's just total misogyny. A lot of people suffer from internalized misogyny, where it's okay for the man to be a certain way, but how dare that woman? Okay? It's ridiculous.
To me, it's devastating to see their marriage crumble. And listen, call me naive or call me delusional, call me crazy, but I'm still hopeful that one day they will find themselves back.
Well,
Shit. What the hell wrong with you? I should throw this damn Pepsi bottle at your head, Carlos. Okay? You done lost your damn mind.
I have said that to Melody, and at first she listened, and then I think the second or third interview, she was like,
Are y'all watching the same show we're watching? I also heard Forrest Rock say that. It's horrible advice. You don't ever need to go back to nobody that then cheated on you, lied, had a baby. It's too much to recover from.
But it's hard to watch, because like you say, we see black love in
ain't no damn love. That ain't black love. That's black toxic love. Okay? Period. What the hell show y'all watching? Are we watching the same show on the same damn channel? Okay? Shit.
A real way. This is Reality Check. It's a real way. Things are not always, lovey-dovey. People have issues they need to get over. Martell definitely has that. So without further ado, I want to talk about this reunion, because I could talk to you all day about these couples, but this reunion, when I say, I want to play this clip, and then I don't even know where, I'm going to let you start, because I don't even know where to start. After this clip, you all, I'm going to play this clip. This is the teaser from the upcoming Love and Marriage Huntsville reunion.
Ready for an unfiltered...
Woo, child. Carlos. I don't even know where to start. I saw that and I was like, okay, first of all,
it's a 3-part reunion. We haven't had a reunion in over a year.
Right.
Our last one, I am your Mr. of Ceremony.
I love that because who could really talk to these couples and get the real from them besides you? That's why I love to see you doing your thing, hosting this. You know what? I will say, I'll start by saying this. Melody her public persona is always so strong, and I admire that. We talked to her about the fact that she's been a role model for other women. So when we see Melody unable to keep up that aesthetic that she is really more comfortable keeping up, that lets us know that obviously there's a lot of pain here, but this is on a whole nother level. with these two and this and how that relationship really seems to set the tone for the entire show. Melody and Martell's breakdown really seems to spill over into everyone's relationship. Definitely Marceau and Tisha's.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit of just about that dynamic. Is there a way to keep that from spilling over into everybody's marriage? Because when you've got couples that are married that way and they all have they're all beautiful, these relationships from college with these good-looking guys, beautiful women, and then you see one is broke down, it definitely makes you look at everyone else with a microscope. Like,
yeah, right. No, definitely. So to answer your question, again, they've been friends as a collective for almost a decade. So when you have friends in your friend group that are going through marital issues, it does impact your relationship in the sense of whose side are you on and whose opinion matters in this. And based on what you're watching this couple go through, what does that mean for your marriage in terms of, I remember the first episode, the first season, when they had this big dialogue about what's respectful cheating.
yes,
And it allowed other couples to talk about, like, what does that even mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you think about the Melody and Martell debacle, it definitely has an effect on the friendships. But one thing about the other couples is, I think they look at Martell and Melody and say, okay, what is it that we have to do so we don't end up there? And just like you said, Melody is a role model for a lot of women. I definitely think Melody and Martell's relationship is an example of things that you need to look out for in your marriage, where your wife maybe should be doing some things, your husband maybe should be doing less of some things. So,
Look, absolutely, honey. Okay, Martell, what could he have did? Not cheated. He could have talked freaky to his wife, okay? And like Melody said, I played that clip for you all over and over again where she felt like Martell set her up for the okie doke, got her involved with the community, running all these businesses. Now he's complaining, dinner's not cooked, you're not talking to me. Nigga, go get your own dinner, go pick it up. You don't put all of that on the woman, and that's where he made his mistake. Then he had his affair and he was trying to guilt and shame Melody. See, that's why I got this other woman, because you ain't been around. So I'm pretty sure he was throwing coleslaw, cornbread, whatever the hell you want to call her, all up in Melody's face so he could get Melody back in line, right? I'm pretty sure that's what he did several times. And that is abusive. And why does Crystal Jordan and Carlos King, why do they think that would make a, good marriage? Why should Melody return to Martell? Do y'all feel like Melody should ever return to Martell after that horrible treatment? No. He ain't gonna never get it back together. He ain't gonna get his stuff together. A man that's really sorry is gonna take responsibility for the whole situation and say, it's my bad. He ain't gonna be throwing up no cheating rumors in his wife's face. And because we all know the shit that Melody has did is what? Just a little drop compared to the big ass ocean that Martell has created, honey. Okay.
It's a conversational piece. And last but not least, the one thing I love about this show particularly is I have so many straight men who are married who tell me, like, this is the show that me and my wife watch together. Because as a couple, we talk about the things they're going through and we can relate to it as well. And I think that's the beauty of the show too.
That definitely is. And that brings me to another point. So Marceau and Tisha, another very strong, we got very strong big alpha male personality.
Ain't no damn alpha male, girl. We got big, strong, narcissistic personalities. That's what Big Toenail Head represents. And he probably just as bad, if not worse, than Martell. Martell is willing to go to therapy. I don't know if he go change after he go to the damn therapy, but at least we can get Martell to go to therapy. We also see Martell working sometimes and spending time with his children. We don't see that with Marceau. Marceau just thinks that being a provider is being a father, and it's not.
And we saw Marceau this season acknowledge that he felt like he was dealing with depression. Very, very shocking, because we see him as this very, calm, cool, and collected guy who always seems to a little bit, kind of got a little sarcastic sense of humor, but he does always seem very composed, very logical and rational. So for him to acknowledge something like that on the show, even to where his wife wasn't aware of it, I thought was really powerful. Did you hear feedback on his admission? And then he took to social media to talk about it a little bit more, but I was really shocked and really proud of him, number one, for saying that, because that's not the personality that we often see acknowledging that they need help. We actually saw Marceau say he didn't want help. He didn't want to go to counseling
right
early on. So were you surprised by that? And what has the feedback been from hearing him acknowledge that?
Yeah, no, I was definitely surprised. It wasn't something that he ever mentioned before or that we were aware of. So when he was open and honest about it in Las Vegas on their couples trip, we were definitely surprised by that admission.
Yeah.
And as the creator and producer of the show, for me, it's the conversation of this is so apparent in the Black community, and Black men don't talk about anything dealing with depression or mental illness or just your mental health as well. So to have someone like Marceau talk about that, like you said, he's a jokester. He keeps things light, and you sometimes don't know what a person is going through behind the laughter and the smile and the jokes.
He ain't going through shit. He refuses to get help. He's a toxic Black man. He treats his wife like shit. She's a codependent. He just has not made any changes. And one thing I am very happy about is that Lewis is on this show, because Lewis is going to check Marceau's ass at that reunion. And honey, baby, Miss Robinson is here for it. I'm sick of Maurice, aka Lemonhead. He don't get on his brother. Everything, if you guys pay attention, it turns into, well, Marceau has always been like that. Just like at that vow renewal in Vegas. Well, Tisha should have knew that Marceau just is the way that he is, and he's set in his ways. I am so sick of people, making excuses for bad toxic behavior. There is no excuse. Your brother should have got his big toenail head ass up, and he should have said at least 3 good things about his wife that he has been married to for 15 years. The fact that he couldn't come up with nothing, the fact that it meant so much to her and she damn near had to beg him in front of a group of people, like, it was pathetic to me. So I would have divorced his ass. I wouldn't even be married to his ass, but I probably would have divorced his ass after some shit like that. Okay, while Tisha is all up in Tiffany's business, she need to be minding the business that pays her, which is her marriage. Because you have a marriage of lack thereof. But Tisha represents most codependents. Most codependents are just happy to say that they have a man. They could be with that man 10, 15, 20 years. Long as there's a warm body laying next to them, they don't care. They look at it as a status symbol to throw over a lot of women's heads. You know, like we saw Tisha several times throughout the seasons tell Melody, well, me and my husband, we still together. And why you trying to put that cheating stuff off on us? And, you know, we too good for all of that shit. Lies you tell. Okay? Codependents are delusional. They're narcissistic too. I said it. Okay, they are. They are not these victims that the narcissist only has control over. A lot of them have the same ways as a narcissist, because what you guys have to remember is you become like somebody the longer you are with them. So a lot of times she's able to put up with Marceau because she has some of his ways as well.
I definitely think it allowed, again, Black men who are watching the show to look out for those things. It allowed me to have a conversation with my brothers who also work 40, 50 hours a week. And I said to my brother 2 weeks ago, like, you need to take time out for yourself, because it is so true that Black men who believe in working hard and bringing home the bacon, and they sacrifice their emotion. You know, as Black men, we truly are raised to not cry when we're little boys. Don't cry, toughen up, wipe that tears off your face.
And then some of y'all cry too damn much, okay? And I know I was with a few of you. Want to whine and never do nothing about the problem. Don't nobody feel sorry for that. Now, can a man express human emotion? Absolutely. I've been around a man that has cried. I held that man. You know, like that type of man, he cried, you know, within reason. You know, somebody died or a lot of bad things kept happening in his life. That was fine, because I knew that he was going to get his stuff together and get himself on the right track. But some of you all, you know, you just play victim, you act feminine, and Miss Robinson, honey, ain't got time for it. Okay, get off your ass and get yourself together.
We're told not to show any emotion as a little boy.
Yeah, that's true.
And that has an effect on us as men. We don't know how to get in touch with our emotion. We're told not to showcase that. So my hope is that we get rid of that stigma in the Black community and start allowing our Black boys to be emotional, to share how they feel, and not feel like they'll be reprimanded for it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I have a son. I remember when he was 7. He was playing football and got hit, and he started to cry. And my first reaction was to go to him, and his dad was like, "Nope, suck it up, don't cry." And then I immediately was like, "Okay, suck it up." And I realized later, as you know, we had a conversation with him. He's in college. Like that's the lesson I got, is that if I'm hurting, it's not okay for me to acknowledge that, and that is so toxic. But you know, that's been a part of our community. So again, kudos to your production team for being able to handle that in a great way. So where Marceau felt comfortable, because he definitely is not one that we expected to be showing his feelings like that. So I was...
What? Did I miss something? Where did Marceau express his feelings? This fool told us he was depressed. Then when Maurice and Martell was trying to get his ass to go to therapy, oh, well, I don't really think I got a problem. I may be just overthinking. Like, child, bye.
Happy to see that. Now, you introduced, there's some new additions to the original 3. We met Destiny, and I gotta say, Carlos, I was confused because we saw Destiny a little bit. We interviewed her. She had a new baby. There was a husband, and then all of a sudden, she returns sans the husband. I just know that they're going to let us know what happened with this husband. Like, what is going on? It feels like that was just kind of glossed over. What's behind the way you all handled that and everything else?
That's the most asked question I get, is what happened between Destiny and LeBaric, and why didn't she talk about it? Why? Because, you know, they know with my shows, I make sure my cast speak candidly about what they're going through.
Right.
Why is Destiny on the show? She can't talk about it.
Yes.
So we do talk about this at the reunion.
Okay.
We'll see it. Without giving anything away, what I will say is sometimes when you're going through a divorce, there are agreements that you have to abide by.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So that's all I'll say with that. But, you know, I definitely did as much as I can to get her to open up.
Right.
But she does share some great insight into why she wasn't able to speak so candidly about her divorce and about that marriage. And
I am so happy she will be doing that because, you know, it was just like, why are you on the damn show? You know, like, we want to know what happened with you and your husband, you and the chicken man. You know, inquiring minds, honey, want to know.
And what that means for her position on the show. So you get a chance to get all of those answers.
Okay, well, we're definitely going to be tuning in, you all. We have the man himself, Carlos King, is joining us today to talk about this upcoming 3-part reunion that he is hosting himself to make sure we get all the scoop from this cast. In addition to Destiny and the new baby, we also have a new couple. So I got a quick little clip because Tiffany is a mystery to me.
I love me some Tiffany, honey.
Husband is still a bit of a mystery, but this clip is how it started, and I'm wondering, are we going to get some more clarity? It looks like we are from that teaser, but I want you to speak a little bit to this final couple that you added and what it was about them that you felt would be a good fit for the Love and Marriage Huntsville cast.
At the beginning of my life, I wasn't born Tiffany. My birth name was Jamie Lynn Payne, and I was given it for adoption because I'm biracial. So my biological mom kept her 4 Caucasian children in Alabama, and I didn't know growing up that I was adopted. So there's a lot of baggage that leads to why.
Because you're adopted by a biracial couple.
Yes, girl.
We have a lot in common as it comes to pertains to that, because I was actually in foster care and in group homes myself, and my mother had a drug addiction, has a drug addiction, so I know what that's like.
It has been.
So actually, that conversation helped us get to know a little bit more even about Destiny, because there's this thing of being like this perfect, especially with you know, Black couples, or just, you know, social media promotes this very vain, you know, I have it all together. I'm the boss chick. She's got the beauty supply store. She's the mom. She's beautiful. Got it all together. So for her to peel back some layers, that was interesting. But like I said, Tiffany comes off as a bit of a mystery.
How? Lady, what is your problem? How is Tiffany a mystery? Tiffany just told you her history of where she came from. Did Tiffany have an issue with timing when she first came on? Yeah. Did Tiffany say some inappropriate things and tried to act like a light-skinned Karen? Yeah. You know, I get on her for that, but I like Tiffany for the show. I do feel like Tiffany is transparent, but Tiffany will only be transparent with people that are transparent with her. Tisha, you're not even transparent about your marriage and how you shouldn't even be a part of it anymore. Okay, how about them apples?
Even in how she reacts to the other ladies, what was it about Tiffany that made you think this is what she's going to be a great addition for the show?
Yeah, speaking of something that fans ask about in nauseam is Tiffany. Like, Tiffany is definitely the most talked about character on the show besides Martell. Which I love. I was telling somebody earlier today, when I cast anybody new, you know you're doing a good job when that person is the most talked about and they're new. Right?
Yeah.
So when it came to Tiffany, we interviewed lots of couples. What drew me to Tiffany and Lewis was I loved Tiffany's level of honesty as it relates to her opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Right. When you watch other reality shows, sometimes when the new girl comes in, she's watching TV.
Right.
She's sitting there just looking at, you know, the conversations happening, not inserting herself. Tiffany has no problem.
That's what I like about her.
Herself. To the point, the audience, my audience, Love and Marriage fans, number one, they do not like new people.
Right.
They did not like Destiny. They were like, why is Destiny coming for Kim with this chicken?
Yeah.
Why is Destiny? They did not like Siddharth. Why we need Siddharth? He's corny. I don't want Siddharth. So I knew Tiffany was going to get the grunt of that too. But long story short, what you're going to see with Tiffany on the next season is somebody who has a lot to talk about as it relates to her childhood.
Yes.
We're diving into that more. But what drew me to her is the fact that I wanted somebody to join the cast that the couple did not have a 7-year friendship with.
Right. Well, that's obvious they don't.
Yeah, it's obvious, right? Because you want to bring somebody in who sees things from a different perspective, or may have a different point of view with things, or may not be afraid to say things because they feel like, well, I've known you for 7 years. I'm not going to say this because I don't want you to say that about me because you know this about me. So I wanted somebody to come in and be like, I'm just coming in, seeing what's happening, and I got an opinion.
Right.
But I think people are now slowly turning around with Tiffany. I think they're understanding her a bit more. But she is definitely somebody who I felt fit to show because it was something new that the franchise hasn't seen yet.
Definitely. So I just want to, her and Lewis, just definitely a different dynamic as a couple than the other couples. And maybe.
And what the hell is wrong with this lady, Crystal Jordan? Something very off about her, because you're sitting up here saying there's something kind of off with Lewis and Tiffany, who happen to have, okay? Whether you like them or not, you guys, they got the healthiest marriage on that show. Because we see how Martell treated Melody. They didn't got a divorce. He didn't cheated, lied, and gaslit her to death. Child, Melody should be in a coma after all them lies Martell was telling at that reunion, honey. Okay? We see how Maurice has treated Kimmy. It took him years to take her out on the honeymoon. Took him years to propose. He's always leaving her out of major decisions, and then he talks to her later, like late. Like, you kind of see how these men treat their wives. Marceau and Tisha, married 15 years. Man can't even get up and say three kind words about the lady he been married to. It looked like he only married her through obligation because she got pregnant. You know, you don't really see a lot of love. You see a lot of business, right? They are more successful in business than they are with their marriage. They don't look happy. But yet this lady that's doing this interview keeps saying, well, they're just kind of a mystery. Well, I don't get it. It looked like you like toxic relationships. That's just what it looked like, sis.
It's because they haven't been married as long.
Yeah.
It just feels different. So I'm assuming we'll get a chance to dive more into that.
And at the reunion, the couples have a lot to say about Tiffany and Lewis themselves.
Yes.
So you get to see a lot of that. To the point I said back like, y'all talk him out.
Wow. Well, I know we got to get ready to wrap up here. There's so much more that I could ask you because, like I said, we watched the show and enjoy the conversation with the ladies. Definitely enjoy talking about Martell because we get so much. That gives you so much fodder for conversation. What do you think? Can you give us any little scoop? I mean, obviously this is the night before, so anything that we should definitely be looking out for, or that you are excited for people to get a chance to hear more about for this first part on Saturday?
Yeah, so you really get a chance to hear some interesting revelations when it comes to the hosts and their marriage that you haven't heard before. It's a lot of new information that comes out of that. We talked to Maurice about Kaiwa and him filing for divorce. divorced twice.
Can we put this? Are we going to be able to put this rumor of if Kimmy was a side chick or not?
Yes. Yes. And I asked Maurice point blank why he doesn't defend Kimmy when she's being called a side chick in front of him.
Nice.
That's good.
Part 1 is good. Part 2 is great. Part 3 is fantastic.
All right, you guys. That's all Miss Robinson has to say about all of this. Y'all get down in my comments. Let me know, what did y'all think about this interview that Mrs. Crystal Jordan did with Carlos King. He is the executive producer and creator of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Don't forget, guys, to like, comment, and subscribe. I am your girl, Brand New, and I will check you guys out in the next video.